Hey folks, when the news broke, where were you during history's biggest moments? Good morning, friends. I was almost 6 years old, sitting in my kindergarten class in November 1963, when the principal's voice came over the intercom. His voice was shaking. President Kennedy has been shot in Dallas. School is dismissed for the day. Even at that age, I knew something had changed forever. And I'll bet every one of you listening has moments like that. Times when the world stopped, when history happened, and you remember exactly where you were. That November day taught our generation something about shared grief. There was no CNN running 24/7, no social media, no instant updates. We all went home and sat in front of our black and white television for 4 straight days. The whole country together. I remember my family in complete shock. Neighbors came over and sat quietly in our living room, not saying much, just needing to be together. I remember Walter Cronkite took off his glasses and announced the president was dead, and somehow that made it real. We trusted him to tell us the truth, and when he was struggling to speak, we knew how serious this was. That shared experience, that's something that the present generation and younger generations don't really have anymore. When tragedy strikes now, everyone retreats to their own information bubble, their own social media echo chamber. But it wasn't just tragedy that brought us together. I remember back in July 1969, I was 11, and I was at the hardware store with my dad. The owner wheeled out this little tiny TV at 3:58 p.m. so all the customers could watch Neil Armstrong step on the moon. The store was packed. People we didn't even know came in just to watch the show with other people. Farmers, housewives, teenagers, businessmen, all of us staring at the fuzzy little black and white picture, watching a human being walk on another world. "That's it," said a lady who ran the diner across the street. "Now we can do anything." And for a moment, we all believed that. We were Americans, and Americans had just walked on the moon. When Neil Armstrong said those famous words, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," the whole store erupted in cheers. Strangers were hugging each other. Even the owner closed the store early and he bought everybody Cokes. What a time that was. And then I remember September 11th, 2001. I was 43 years old, drinking coffee and reading the paper before work. My wife called from the kitchen. "Wayne, you need to see this. A second plane hit while we were watching." But what I remembered most isn't the television coverage. It's how quiet everything got afterwards. For weeks, you could hear the airplane that flew overhead because there were so few of them. People were gentler with each other. Neighbors we'd barely spoken to were checking on us. That day changed how we thought about safety, about America, about what could happen here. But it also reminded us, when we were tested, we watched ordinary people become heroes in real time. These moments don't just happen to us, they shape us. They taught us that the world could change in an instant, that we were part of something bigger than ourselves. That history wasn't just something in textbooks. It was happening all around us, through us. And because we experienced them together, we had a shared understanding. We didn't have to explain the significance to each other. We all lived it. Today, when big news breaks, everyone experiences it differently. Some people get the information from their favorite online channel, some from cable news, some from friends' Facebook posts. There's no Walter Cronkite that everyone trusts, No shared moments of sitting together in front of one television. So tell me, where were you when the world changed? What moment is burned into your memory? Share your stories in the comments so we can all continue our conversations. Let's remember together what it felt like to live through history. Folks, next week we're getting personal with things we think but don't say about getting older. And I warn you, I'm not holding back on this one. Do me a favor, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Until then, I appreciate that you were witnesses to extraordinary times. You, along as myself, we lived through history. This makes you a pretty extraordinary person yourself, doesn't it? Folks, take care, be well, be happy, and cheers.